Hi, my name is Edward Itleong. I'm the Youth Outreach Worker for the Youth Gambling Awareness Program in YMCA of Eastern Ontario, which covers Brockville, Kingston, and surrounding areas. I'd like to invite you to play this brief, really fun game with me and my colleagues. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen. Okay guys, so for this game, you're going to need your piece of paper. So first, rip your paper into 12 squares. I'll give you some time. On 3 slips of paper, write the names of 3 people who are very dear to you. I'll give you some time. All right. On 3 new slips of paper, write 3 things or possessions that you regard as special. On a new 3 slips of paper, write 3 different activities in which you enjoy participating. All right, and the last one, on the last 3 slips of paper, write 3 things you like about yourself. Once you have all that done, just make sure to keep your categories together so you know where they are. So now we're going to go through scenario, and throughout we'll be giving you timed instructions. So be ready, okay?
All right, the first scenario. You decided to attend a football watch party with classmates in your bubble at a friend's house. You were supposed to be home at 10, but the game went into overtime. You bet money on the game and got caught up in the excitement and the anticipation of winning money. You got home after your curfew, and your parents are waiting up for you, but you're in big trouble. But you won $300 from the football pool. Your team won and you feel like a champ. Now one of your possessions is taken away from you as a punishment. Choose one of your possessions to rip up. You have 15 seconds. Ready, set, go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
A few days later, you and a couple of friends go to one of your classmates' home after school. Her parents aren't home and you decide to play some pool. You're enjoying yourself and you're a pretty good pool player. Someone suggests that you play for money. You only have $50 on you, which is supposed to be used to take your brother out for lunch at the corner restaurant's heated patio. You've been promising for weeks. You figure that since you're a pool shark, you will win and now will have enough money for dessert. By the end of the night, you lose the whole $50. You kept betting more and more, hoping to win back your losses. The next day, you don't have any money to take your brother out to lunch. You have to break your promise. Tear up one attribute and one activity. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
Gambling is becoming one of your favorite pastimes. You are now always on the lookout for opportunities to gamble. You're still pumped about your big win a few weeks ago. You're becoming more preoccupied with gambling and less concerned or interested in your friends, family, school, and hobbies. You don't think that your gambling is a problem. Tear up one person's name and one attribute. You have 8 seconds. Ready? Go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
You are now finding yourself gambling daily on sports, in video games, on dares and challenges, and on online poker sites. All these activities are causing serious consequences. You are fighting with your friend because you want to turn everything into a bet. Your grades are dropping as you never have time to complete your homework with all time you're spending online betting. And you have spent all of the money you have saved up from your holiday gifts. Tear up one person's name and one attribute. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
After a big loss in online poker, you are desperate in need of money as you need to pay back the money you borrowed from a friend. You don't know what to do, so you steal your credit card from your mom's wallet and she finds out. She is heartbroken, angry, and disappointed. Tear up one possession and one activity. You have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up.
At this point, you are experiencing a loss of control, preoccupation with gambling, and are continuing to gamble despite all the negative consequences. Please turn your last 3 pieces of paper upside down and shuffle them around. You now have 3 seconds to choose 2 items to rip up. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. You can look at what you have left. Sally, what do you think the purpose of this game was?
I think that this activity showed me what happens when people experience problems with gambling and how it can negatively affect different areas of our lives.
Courtney, why do you think we had the names of people you care about and your favorite possessions?
I think we included people we care about because problem gambling behaviors can negatively impact our relationships. It can also lead to people losing items that are important to them, either by betting with them or perhaps selling them for money to gamble with.
Sally, why did you have to write down activities you enjoy participating in and the things you like best about yourself?
I think we wrote those categories because if gambling became my main focus in life, I would not be balancing my life with other hobbies and interests. So there'd be no room for other activities. And I think my personality may change as this could also impact, my mental health, maybe some of the choices I'd be making as well. So maybe I'd always considered myself a good listener, but if my gambling habits were out of control, I wouldn't be focusing on being a good friend or anything like that because my mind would be preoccupied.
Keely, which category was the easiest for you to choose from to rip up and why?
The category that was easiest to rip up was possessions, because none of the items I wrote down were needs and ultimately can be replaced. But I could see how this may not always be the case. People may bet something very dear to them that is irreplaceable, or something that could affect their way of life and affect others who also use that item. For example, a shared car that people rely on for their job.
Chantel, which category was the hardest for you to choose from and why?
It was definitely the hardest to choose from the category of the people that I hold dear. I can't compare the worth of the different people in my life, so having to choose who to give up was really difficult. But this activity certainly made it clear how problem gambling could interfere in relationships.
Paul, why do you think we gave you less and less time to make decisions? And why did we have you turn your last 3 choices upside down before you chose?
Well, as issues with gambling kind of progress, you can maybe feel more and more stress and like you're running out of time to make decisions or to find time for other activities you enjoy and for other important people in your life. I think those last 3 choices were turned upside down because it made me feel like my choices were no longer in my control. I didn't know which part of my life I would have to get rid of. And I think this can be what people who are experiencing problem gambling have to deal with. Like they have less and less control over what's going on in their lives.
And Paul, how did participating in this activity make you feel?
I felt stressed and overwhelmed because I didn't want to give up any friends, attributes, or activities. And I felt maybe even a little guilty and anxious at times. I can imagine that these feelings would be even stronger for someone who's experiencing problems related to their gambling behavior.
Thank you all for participating. I hope you had fun and learned something too. If you are interested in learning more about the Youth Gambling Awareness Program, please visit www.ymcagta.gambling. If you or someone you know is experiencing problems with gambling, please contact Connex Ontario for free help at 1-866-531-2600.